Hi, movie fans.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah, we took a little break there. But we still like to talk, and we have a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, we do. The Bad Boys spinoff, LA's Finest.
Which is originally was a series ordered up by Sony Pictures for NBC, but apparently Charter Communications made an order for it, and they picked it up. So this will be their first big production.
Featuring Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba. What did we figure out what her character name was in the movie? Because I can't remember.
I don't
just know
remember.
she was up with Will Smith. And
she was in Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
And she's going to reprise that same character.
And then she was her, not Will Smith's brother or sister, but the other one. Why can't I think of his name off the top of my head? Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence.
Yeah. And she was in the FBI.
They've ordered up 13 episodes, and it's set to premiere in 2019.
Just think it'll be some sort of special task force type deal. Since she's into that, I mean, she kind of does that covert type of thing, sting operation.
It's a thing where so somebody moves from Miami to LA, right, and then ends up partnering up with the other person, and the hijinks start. I guess I don't know.
The explosions.
Yeah, the hijinks and the explosions and so on.
All right, this was Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
This is news to me, and now I need to look this up because you just told me that SmackDown was moving to Fox, and I hadn't heard about that deal.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they would move to Fox. I don't know if it's to continue a 3-hour block or if Vince is feeling a little bit gouged due to the fact that he just gave up part of his stock to get the not the CFL, his football league up and running. Moving to Fox. All right, here we go. Let's see what this. WWE makes it official. SmackDown Live will move to Fox. They must have paid him a lot of money to do that. That kind of sucks. I mean, I liked both brands just being on USA.
It's SmackDown Live, right? So it won't premiere on Fox until 2019. But they've already started pairing their logos and photographs.
Oh, thank God. It's only going to be 2 hours long. They're not going to make it $1 billion. Holy crap. That's a big move.
5-year deal.
I mean, they did it with Sci-Fi. They did it with a bunch of other teams. I guess they'll get, when they moved, they were on Sci-Fi, and Sci-Fi used to show reruns. And that was a big deal. And that's why SmackDown actually started getting more popular than the rest of them, because USA doesn't do that. Well, then USA started doing that at midnight. They would show the show, it would run its block, and then at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, they would show a rerun for anybody that missed it. But now that they've got the WWE Network, it doesn't seem like there's much of a point for them to really care.
Right. Well, and I think that's it. They're going to keep on going with the highest bidder. But I think it was smart for Fox to say, 5 years.
Yeah. We'll take it.
That's over a year from now, by the way. That's not going to start until October 4th, 2019.
I mean, it's going to make Fox some money. No matter. I mean, they usually average between 2 and.
We'll circle back to that later.
2 and 3 million views, and so honestly, it would probably definitely be a buffer for Fox and end up making the money because no matter what.
So we're gonna start seeing wrestling on Fox Sports now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So then we got the Watermelon cast Jeremy Irons.
The Watermelon.
Yeah. Chris's
HBO's Watermelon pilot. Scribbler I am. Good movie, by the way. The Scribbler. Little known indie movie. Anyway, Watchmen pilot that's set to be on HBO has cast Jeremy Irons, and I'm not sure who the cast him as.
As Rorschach.
No, there's no Rorschach. Not in this one.
Oh, they're not. They're just gonna leave him out completely.
It takes place after the events of what we already know.
Okay.
It takes place in modern times.
Oh, right on. So he'd be an older superhero, maybe, or maybe even part of the opposition. That wouldn't be bad. To have him as the villain.
I mean, he plays a great villain.
He does. All right, I'm trying to look this up. Is this going to be Master Chief at all?
Well, it's such early stages. It's kind of a pain.
Is that all they have on there right now? It's just him?
Well, I kind of feel like, okay, because everything that I've read about what they're doing, this is just a Dreamcast on IMDb. This isn't real.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, me too.
They did that. They did that for It too. The Dreamcasting with Jake Gyllenhaal and
but
everybody
IMDb
else.
is supposed to be, a database with facts and information, and not just hey,
Wikipedia.
We would love to see Joe Anderson play Rorschach.
Right.
Rorschach's not going to be in it. Joe Anderson's not attached. They just cast Jeremy Irons as somebody. Let's put that in there.
Just because I'm curious and I want to see. Ooh, there's some behind the scenes photos from It Chapter 2. It just posted 2 hours ago.
Nice. Does it look scary?
James McAvoy's in it. Well, there's a name.
I like James McAvoy.
Looks like it, according to this, looks like we got James McAvoy, Bill Hader, who I assume is playing Richie. Oh God, I don't know these other guys though. Jay Ryan, Andy Bean, James Ransone. Sorry, I don't recognize any of those guys at all. Bill Hader, I know. James McAvoy, I know.
Well, good. That's
So,
probably intentional. They're
I'm
probably trying
assuming-
to find people that will look like the adult versions of the kids that they picked.
Jessica Chastain.
We knew she was going to be in it.
Right, so she'll be...
I think we knew that Bill Hader was going to be in it.
Yeah, he was going to play Richie.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to get Chris Pratt and Jake Gyllenhaal for 2 of the roles.
No, I'm glad they didn't though, because that's
I'm going to say that
Chris
James...
Pratt and Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm taking a look at James. I'm going to say that he's playing Richie. Or not Richie, but Eddie Kasprak. So that means I'm going to say Andy Bean will be not Bill, but Haystack. So then who would Jay Ryan be? I don't know. Unless one of them's playing Henry Bowers, the older version of Henry Bowers. Be nice if they'd give us a cast list instead of just a bunch of names. Oh, there we go. James McAvoy is Bill Denbrough. Oh, okay, I was wrong. Jay Ryan is playing Ben Hanscom. Bill Hader is Richie Tozier. I was right about the James one, though. He's playing Eddie Kasprak. He had that look. Stan Uris, so Andy Bean. Okay, so Andy Bean's not going to be in it for very long. But I've never heard of this guy either. Isaiah Mustafa.
That sounds familiar to me.
He was in the Three Stooges remake. He was in Horrible Bosses. He's been on Robot Chicken. Yeah, not a lot. No. I mean, if it's anywhere as good as the first one, I'm not going to complain. So, Bill Skarsgård is Pennywise. No sarcastic comment for that at all.
Nope.
I'll just give you the finger and we'll move on.
Well, I just finally found the actual casting for Watchmen.
Oh, nice.
But it still doesn't give a name of who Jeremy Irons is playing, but it gives a more reasonable cast list.
Who do you got?
Jamal Akakbo, Joshua Allen plays businessman. Jamal
That's
Chambers.
That's a great superhero.
Right.
I've always wanted to see him in real life.
Louis Gossett Jr., Andrew Howard, Jeremy Irons, Don Johnson, Regina King.
Ooh.
Elgin Lee plays pedestrian/waiter.
Have you got through Luke Cage season 2 yet?
I didn't even know there was a season 2.
Yeah, it just got released.
Okay.
It's good.
I gotta get my Netflix situation figured out first.
It's better than the second season. Yeah, well, that's on you. How do you not know your Netflix situation?
It's complicated. Anyway, speaking of Netflix, DC Universe is set to launch its digital service. And let me punch that one up real quick.
See, and this is what I was asking you in the car. If you felt that it was going to be, you said they were beta testing it. So does that mean they're going to an app-based program, or if they're going to start online? Which Redbox did do that. Redbox and Netflix both had their online option.
Most good tech companies know to do a beta test. And
well, see, and that's the thing, though, is like with the...
I'm assuming it's going to be an app.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I mean, that would be the test, right?
Yeah, because, like, just a
they're not testing
example.
the content. They're testing the app,
right?
The technology.
Well, the program that they're using to get all that. I'm trying to pull this up too. Would you just go straight to Variety?
Yeah, that's where I found it. And Screen Junkies is
you need to know about
talking about it right now.
IGN's got it on there right now too.
I got it
from 3 hours ago.
It's probably all over the place. Like I said, Screen Junkies just went live a little bit ago and started talking about it. So their thumbnail is a picture of Robin.
Well, good for Screen Junkies.
Okay. DC Entertainment has revealed new details around its forthcoming digital service. The company announced today that it will open beta access to DC Universe in August, ahead of a full launch in the fall. So it's only a couple of months beta test.
They're bringing back Young Justice and this guy. Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna subscribe to.
Thing.
So I'm gonna subscribe to this Ko-fi solely for those two things that Chris just listed. Young Justice. He was the one that was most excited. As excited for it as I was, to see Young Justice again.
Yeah, the third season of Young Justice will go onto the beta test, onto the streaming. Live action stuff includes Titans, which is a nice shiny picture of Robin.
Yeah.
Go with that.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
And then also Swamp Thing
and the
Doom
Outsiders.
Patrol.
Do you hear me? The Outsiders as well.
That's not on my list, but okay. Harley Quinn is an animated one.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Cove.
And the sign up is on the DC Universe website.
They don't have anything marked for it, but they just have it listed. That's why there's no trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just listed next to.
Right. Well.
Who's all in the Outsiders? Do you remember?
No.
That's a Travis question.
Sorry, yeah, that is a Travis question. Okay, so they're also going to include a bunch of library titles. Like they're going to throw the original 4 Superman movies, Batman the Animated Series, the Wonder Woman series,
Super Friends,
the Justice League feature films like Flashpoint Paradox, Green Lantern First Flight.
Well, it'll be all the DC animated, right?
This is just a short list. I'm not sure exactly what all, but they're going to throw a bunch of stuff on there. I mean, it makes sense to overload it with content all into one spot because that's really what people want, and that's what people will pay for.
And also putting those movies, giving people access to those movies, even the ones that just recently came out, like Batman Ninja, would be a good stepping stone for them. It's like, hey, our beta just came out. You have the option to watch not just these movies, but you can also watch, hey, here's this one that we did with Japan.
Well, Kofi had a solid question too about the WB content, stuff like or CW content. I mean, stuff like Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, all that.
Well, that would still be. Well,
those are things that were ordered up by Netflix specifically. And well, I mean, not all of them, but some of them were.
Well, they're under contract again, right? Since CW lost, or when Hulu lost the contract with CW, and they did the new contract with Netflix. That was supposed to be 2 weeks after the season finale of every show on CW. They would release the entire season on Netflix, and that's why. And it sucks for viewership that they made that deal, because what people are going to do is they're going to wait for that season to be over, and they're like, oh, well, in 2 weeks I can binge the whole thing.
Right.
Now, unless they factored that in to viewership, and they were like, okay, so we're going to pay you this based on what you're going to lose to make it worth it. I would assume that's the only way I could see that working. Well, for any extended period of time.
The thing about it, in the long run, the future, obviously, of network television is kind of struggling. I mean, in a sense, because every company is literally going streaming service, and my concern is how many subscriptions do I want? how many different bills do I want
right.
for the content that I want to see? Because I prefer to watch shows at my leisure too, and I don't like having to wait another week to see the conclusion of what I just watched,
Yeah, so when is it going to get to the time when you're going to pay $50 for Netflix?
Or not just $50 for Netflix, but $50 for a package that includes Netflix and the DC service and the Disney service and all that.
Right back into paying for cable again.
Yeah,
Unless they do keep
except that it's all internet streaming service instead of, networks are still going to have their fingers in the pie, obviously. They're still making these shows.
Right. Well, HBO was the first one to jump that ship when they did
Go.
HBO Go, yeah. Starz and Showtime both have ties with Amazon, so they have their streaming service based off of them.
Amazon Prime.
And that's the thing that sucks is because you're already paying $100 a year for Amazon Prime, and then you can turn around and buy the subscription for $9 a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I don't know when the last time you saw a cable bill was, but
my mom's.
Yeah. What did it run?
About $80-something, but they've got internet too.
For a month?
Yeah. But she's got, because she goes to school, she's got high-speed internet and all that stuff, and she's constantly bouncing back and forth. Mm-hmm. Where she's at, she can't get Comcast. Mm. But I remember our Comcast bill, not here, but when I was living with my roommate, our Comcast bill was just for the internet by itself was $75, and that wasn't including whatever basic cable package you could get, or home phone, which nobody, here's my home phone right here.
Right.
Really need to get a landline though.
Well, I haven't paid a cable bill in some time, and it's worked out pretty well for me. But also,
I pay an internet bill, same thing.
Anyway,
we didn't cover Halo at all.
Nope. Showtime orders up 10 episodes of Halo, a Halo series.
I didn't see what it said the style was going to be. Is it going to?
It's going to be set in the 26th century.
Right, that I got. But is it going to be machinima, or is it going to be?
It's live action. As far
it
as
is live action, so it's going to be more like we were talking about, Ford Dawn to Dawn, and okay.
Well, from everything that I read, it's these producers and directors and writers seem to have their own unique vision of what they want to bring to the table. So it might not look exactly like those. It'll probably look at least somewhat similar.
As long as the Covenant,
keep the Halo outfit.
As long as the Covenant looks great. Well, it depends on what they're focusing on. If they're focusing on the Marines, they're not going to have to worry about focusing on Master Chief or the Spartan program. If it's set in the 26th century, the Spartan program was done during Halo Reach, which was done before Master Chief was even a thing.
Right.
So you've got what Ford Dawn to Dawn did, where they were focusing on the training projects with within the UNSC, I think is what the United Space Corps. Mm-hmm. So if they focus on the Marines, or if they go like the ODST route, where again it's focused on a human element, not the Spartan program.
Well, that's yeah. As far as I know, it's supposed to be.
I just want to see the Covenant.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some shots here before too long.
I would like to see what they're going to do.
Because this is something that was in the works for 4 years.
Yeah.
They've been talking about this, and Showtime finally picked it up. I can't remember who had it. It was
somebody with a giant fucking Spartan laser.
Well, we'll probably start seeing images pretty soon.
Kofi, did you want to talk about Young Justice?
He's trying to get cheeseburgers.
I almost said that.
Anyway,
I don't need punched in the face today.
I think we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back momentarily. Welcome back.
I don't care about Trump.
Okay, well, I do. not like on a personal level or anything, but I care about the country. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we're not here to talk about politics. We're going to talk about David Lynch. David Lynch wants to correct for the record. He does not endorse Donald Trump or his actions as president.
But he kind of looks like him.
In a more punk rock way. With real hair.
If Sting and Trump had a baby. I mean, it's the hair that's doing it, man.
I was going to say Ian McKellen and Sting had a baby.
That would make more sense anyway, because Ian would love to get his hands on Sting.
Do we know that for sure?
He's the one I'm thinking of that played Gandalf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gay.
What's that got to do with Sting?
So he'd like to get his hands on Sting. Sting's a handsome man.
That's fair. He was a pretty handsome blonde guy. Anyway, so he did an interview for The Guardian, and he said that Trump could go down as one of the greatest presidents in history, and that no one has been able to counter this guy in an intelligent way. And then Breitbart reported on it, and apparently Trump took that as an endorsement with his own tweets. But no, he wasn't actually. He had a response. I'm trying to find that response because the response was really good. It was respectful and, all of the things. Professional, like. That's a long article. I encourage you to look it up and read it because there's a lot more to it than just that. And then if you can go to Twitter and find David Lynch's. Well, actually, it wasn't Twitter. It was on his Facebook page. Apparently, he wrote this letter to Trump explaining his position and what he thinks needs to happen. Anyway, Terry Crews.
Looks like what he had to deal with was... in 2016, the head of the motion picture department that he was at his agency grabbed his genitals twice in front of his wife. And according to what he was saying, he said his first reaction was to get violent and start beating the shit out of the dude, but he held back. Mm-hmm. His reply was, as a black man in America, you only have a few shots at success. You only have a few chances to make yourself a viable member of the community. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I have seen many young black men who were provoked into violence. They were in prison or they were killed. They're not here. So that makes sense why he didn't do anything
right
from a physical standpoint. But it's nice to see that even he's just a great all-around guy.
He really is. Wasn't always. He was,
he's admitted to it.
I goes into his checkered past about how he was with women and
how he was raised, how he was with his kids, and how he kind of
basically learned that all from his dad.
Yeah, that was really nice. He broke into tears in that too, which is something you don't see very often from anybody.
Right. I'm a big fan of Terry Crews.
But I guess people were. It looked like somebody was trying to shit on him for the fact that he decided to take this stance and that standpoint.
One of the what is it? The producers.
Yeah.
Right. So he's not going to be in Expendables 4. Well, he was threatened.
I mean, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. He's on Brooklyn. He's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Right.
He's a great character actor.
Well,
anyway. He's going to find work somewhere else.
He was threatened by this person, saying, if he doesn't sign on, there'll be trouble. He's like, all right, bring it.
Yeah.
And he went and testified, and
And he does all kinds of stuff too. He does live streaming now. He does. Yeah. He plays video games with his kids and does really well for himself doing that. Mm-hmm. He's got motivational books that do very well. Self-help books that have done well. Mm-hmm. Like I said, his character on Brooklyn Nine-Nine is hilarious.
Right. Well, just pretty much everything he does is hilarious. Yeah. He was in Deadpool 2.
He'll get another opportunity. I wouldn't be too worried. He'll end up finding something bigger and just knock it out of the park. Let's see. I'm not.
And speaking
there's all kinds of stuff. Like Chris was saying, this is off of Vulture, so I think you guys should all read this because there is a lot of quotes on here. Mm-hmm. A lot.
Yeah, no, he had a lot to say.
Did they post a video for it? They had to have.
They might have. I don't know.
Was it one of those?
I read the article. I didn't.
Was it one of those things that was on C-SPAN by any chance?
It was.
So then it'll be up on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, you're going to be able to find that, and it's definitely worth either reading or listening to. Check it out.
I was trying to see if
speaking of sexual harassment and things of that nature, Disney's insurer is trying to avoid paying for Weinstein's defense. I say that's probably a good move.
Yeah. Stay the fuck away from that.
I mean, can't he afford his own damn defense?
Well, he should have already had a lawyer on retainer anyway. It's not like he
should have had a team of lawyers on retainer.
It's not like
fucking
he
Harvey Weinstein. Are you kidding me?
Been in his business for long enough.
He had an office on the Warner Brothers lot.
The person that people are shitting on right now for shitting on Terry Crews is 50 Cent, by the way. That's what it was.
Yeah, there was some backlash thing. Yeah, I remember reading a little bit about that. I don't really care about that. I care that Terry Crews is doing what he's doing, which is the right thing.
No, with this Weinstein thing, I mean, I'm surprised that this is coming out now that Disney is pulling out. They should have pulled out from day one.
Well, they might have. You know.
Oh, and it's just now coming out that they're not going to.
Could be, yeah.
All right, yeah. He doesn't have any defense. He just needs to plead guilty and get it over with. I mean,
he really does, considering the mountains of...
He's going to end up having a cushy little jail cell, some fucking prison or something somewhere. So he's going to be set either way. Or somebody's going to stab him, one of the two. I don't know. It's Harvey Weinstein. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure he could pay for his own protection. This is something that you know that I don't. The Mark Wahlberg thing, because I never got a chance to look it up. You said there was no title for the project. It's just that they are.
I think there is a title for the project. I'm looking it up.
Oh, it looks like they announced something at CinemaCon. Mark Wahlberg, Peter Berg, revive Robert B. Parks.
Yeah.
Spencer with Wonderland. Spencer. Wait, is that supposed to be suspense? Or here, read that and tell me what you think. The top article.
It's Spencer. Wonderland is the title.
Right. So that's his name fully?
B. Parker's Spencer. I don't know.
They're trying to say suspense.
Click it. It's deadline. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the Variety one, which is the one I read. Yeah. And another huge win for Netflix, which is really the big story here. This would be, the third huge production concept that Netflix has ordered up as far as film. Now, Peter Berg and Wahlberg have worked together many times already. Scott Stuber, its film chief, set up an adaptation of Robert Parker's Wonderland.
Sorry, Spencer was the name of the character.
Right.
Sorry.
That's what I was wondering. I thought I'd read that.
Apparently it's 8 books.
Yeah. Peter Berg is going to direct it.
I never heard of it.
I never heard of it either. Oh, I've heard of Wonderland, but I've never read it. Neil H. Moritz is producing, using his original film banner, along with Stephen Levinson and Berg via the Film 44 company.
So they did do this at one point as a series. Looks like. I'm assuming that this is supposed to be a still from the original.
An old movie, maybe. I don't know. So Wonderland is, I think, it's the first book in the Spencer series, named after a fictional character in the series.
It just says one
detective novels.
It just says one of the 8 on mine.
Yeah. This just says Wonderland, written by Ace Atkins.
Yeah, we'll do it.
It's being adapted from that, and it says the book is. It doesn't say what number it falls into place. The story follows Spencer, who, fresh out of prison, is sucked back into Boston's underbelly as he uncovers the truth about a sensational murder and twisted conspiracy behind it.
I'm just looking it up real quick on Wikipedia to see. Let's see.
He was looking for something to do after. I'm sorry. Mark Wahlberg was looking for something to fill his empty space since Warner Brothers pushed $6 Billion Man due to the loss of its director. So Wonderland, the 5th time. It'll be the 5th time that Berg and Wahlberg have worked together. The Lone Survivor, Patriots Day, Deepwater Horizon, and the upcoming Mile 22.
That looks like a good movie. His The Lone Survivor was a great movie. I really liked it.
So we don't have a release date for you because that's something they're talking about. Entering production on.
Wait, really? I'm looking through his bibliography right now, and I don't really. Some of these sound familiar. Some of these sound like they might have been movies or books at some point. Huh. Weird. There's not. I mean, I can't really pull up anything on. I was trying to pull up on the individual book, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's not really giving me anything to go from.
Yeah, that's okay.
Jamie Foxx is gonna play Spawn.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is your favorite subject right here.
Well, it's my okay. So we talked about this, and we both agreed that we thought Michael Jai White was going to come back and play the character.
I said it'd be cool if he did. I never agreed that was what was going to happen.
I think it would have been.
He came back and did an interview recently. I think it was on Screen Junkies actually. They did a sit down with Todd McFarlane and Michael Jai White showed up, and they talked about Michael Jai White showed up. And they talked about the old movie. They talked about McFarlane's plans for the new movie, how he wanted it to be a hard R, how he wanted it to, I don't know, not be lame. Even though I liked Spawn, it was lame.
Don't expect to see. Okay, so this is saying that you might not even see Jamie Foxx. I guess they're just using. It's starting to look like they're just using his body.
Well, that doesn't really make sense because the article that you sent me that I read,
this is just from
he said Todd McFarlane had always envisioned, as he was writing the script, had always envisioned Jamie Foxx as Al, so he wanted to keep with that.
Yeah, this just these articles are just saying that he might not have much of a speaking role. It might be.
Yeah, that's what I read. Not much of a speaking role. It's supposed to be a different kind of a story.
So when they did the animated series, that's exactly how it was in that. He didn't speak very much. His action spoke for him. Every once in a while, he'd be talking to like the Violator or something like that, or the Vindicator, and But other than that, he really didn't talk to anybody.
Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing a modern Spawn with the hard R rating.
They had there was a short. It was an independent made Spawn thing set in a grocery store. I saw it. I can't remember how many years ago it was, but
I think
it was like a fan. It was a fan made.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was looking at my Facebook memories, and one of the things I posted a couple years back was a fan made short where Gambit takes on Dakin.
Oh yeah. This is if you ever get a chance, it's on YouTube. It's called Spawn the Recall, and it's a fan made film. It's only 7 minutes long, and it's not. It's not done from here. I think it's French or Spanish.
I remember watching that.
Not a lot of talking. But, I mean, it looked good.
Right.
For what it was. So your Disney and Fox acquisition. Kofi sent us information about this.
Yeah, I'm just going to punch that
yesterday.
Right out. That's easy to find.
Kofi, what were you saying? It's not 100% yet because Comcast can still jump in?
Well, yeah, all this. Okay, so the U.S. Justice Department has agreed to a settlement with Disney that would allow it to purchase most of 21st Century Fox's asset. What that means is that they can now bid legally on those assets. That does not mean that they're going to get them. And that's from CNN. Antitrust approval, right? So, as part of the settlement, Disney will have to sell off 22 of Fox's regional sports networks. Disney's purchase isn't yet final. The settlement must first be approved by a federal judge, and Fox's shareholders also have to vote in favor of the deal.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, limited potential concerns. Okay. The company earlier said in proxy filings that it would sell the sports networks if required by the government. Yeah, I like sports just as much as the next guy. But you know what I like more than the next guy? Comic books.
The Patriots.
Comic book movies.
Patriots can go fuck off, by the way.
This isn't that kind of show. I will stab you with my pen, though. Anyway.
See how quick Chris turns when I talk about his beloved Patriots.
Beloved is a strong word.
Whose win-loss record against my favorite team is not good. It's the only thing I can say about my team.
Anyway,
yes.
we really want Disney to buy Fox for reasons.
Yes.
Okay, and sports is not those reasons.
Well, they already agreed that they weren't going to get their hands in the sports game anyway, so it doesn't. Yeah. I mean, that's it's irrelevant.
They can keep on making sports movies. It's fine.
Fox can keep FS1.
We want the X-Men. We want all the stuff under one umbrella.
And that's why Disney's lobbying hard for it. You know what Comcast is going to do? If Comcast comes in and tries to take it, then they're not only are they going to cockblock them, but they're also going to try to sell those individual characters off to Disney for more money. That's really what the gist of that's going to be.
Yeah. Well,
they're not gonna go and make their own fucking thing. I'm sorry, but
Disney's
won't.
not trying to get ridiculous
Crush
here.
The throat
but
of
they're
Comcast.
Really good at business. They got more money than most people. Like I don't know where Comcast sits on the financial spectrum in comparison to Disney, but I have a hard time believing.
Well, it's not where Comcast sits. It's you got to wonder where NBC sits because NBC still owns Comcast.
Either way, I feel like Disney's got a pretty good shot. It just depends on how far they want to go, how much money they want to spend,
how much they think they're going to make after getting just
Fox
a couple
is a
of
lot of property.
Right,
it's a lot of property, not just comic book property, and even without sports, there's a lot there. It'd be a worthy purchase for sure, and it's only going to expand their horizons on what they can do.
Gonna finally get. Ooh, that gives not only does it give them start. We can finally have Mickey Mouse in the Star Wars universe. Still waiting for it.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse in the Star Wars.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse is Darth Vader. I'm sorry. Yes, the House of Mouse, and he's one of the most beloved icons in the world. But I want to see him be evil. I want to see him with a Mickey Mouse Vader helmet and a red.
Haven't they done that?
They've done pictures of it.
I think there's a movie. There's like not an animated movie.
It might be an animated short.
Something. No, there's a movie. There's definitely a movie where I can't remember exactly the premise, but I want to say it's a black and white.
With him as Darth Vader?
No, not him as Darth Vader. Just him as villainous.
Oh.
Anyway, we're gonna take a break. So, tell me about that Creed 2 trailer. I still haven't seen it yet.
Well, spoilers for anybody that's going to watch the show. It'll be a little bit into it. It basically just looks like Creed Jr. versus Drago Jr. It didn't seem like from the way Adonis was talking in there that he was like going out seeking revenge, like he was going to go out and kill Ivan Drago's son or something like that. It was more along the lines of like Ivan Drago killed my father, so I'm going to beat the shit out of his son in the ring. Was basically what I got. Yeah. It looks like Sylvester Stallone is in worse health in this, kind of going that Mickey route.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think this was just a teaser trailer, so it was a little.
You think it's time to kill Rocky?
Yeah, I mean he doesn't play a very big part with regards of training.
It's big to us, for everyone.
No, yeah. You're talking about. Are you talking about it in general?
When Mickey died, yeah. That was huge, and that was in the second fucking movie.
Yep.
So.
No, third movie.
Third movie, right?
Yeah.
But still, that was huge.
No, I don't think they'll get rid of him just yet. They might stick to that plot line. They might kill him off if they do a third movie. But right. Yeah, he's just there strictly for training, giving wisdom as best he can, telling Adonis about his dad and what his dad meant to him, things like that. And they go over that a lot in the movie. They do the whole getting a dog scene that he did from, I think he did that in Rocky Balboa. He went and bought a dog with that one girl's kid that he was dating. the little girl that was on the street. I don't know. That it's been a while since I've seen Rocky Balboa, but I know there's a scene where they did something like that. Punchy. That was the dog's name. Punchy.
Yeah.
Punchy.
I just remember in the old, like, was it Rocky 2? I think it was Rocky 2. He had a robot.
That was Rocky 3.
Was it Rocky 3
Yeah.
again? I thought Rocky 3 was mostly in
Rocky
Tundra.
4. Rocky 4, they lose everything. Rocky 3 was when his son's a little bit older, and they bring. Oh crap! What was her brother's name? The asshole.
I don't know. I don't remember details.
Well, they brought him back, and he like falls in. He's like, it looks like that he's in love with the robot. The robot's got a female voice. It's like the only woman for me. It's really weird.
Yeah, I remember that scene actually. Now
I don't know.
Paulie.
Thank you.
It was Paulie.
Yeah, because the robot always went, there you go, Paulie.
Mm-hmm.
The Predator's coming out with another one, and they've got the Uber Predator now.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, I'm not gonna lie, the trailer looks good. It looks promising as far as action movies go, and as far as the Predator looks good. My curiosity is, why is that the title? The original one was just called Predator, right?
It was.
So that's how they get.
And they're not making it seem like this is a brand new thing. They are
made
treating
it clear
this like
that
a continuation.
the Predator is a thing that at least in some form of government knows about.
They're going more from the lines of how like Alien vs Predator and Alien vs Predator Requiem was, where it's like the government's starting to like retrofit the technology that they've been getting from the Predators.
Well, there's a scene in the trailer where what's his name? Man, I love that guy.
He's the one from Wolverine, or not Wolverine, but Logan.
Yeah,
he's the bad guy.
He says, my job is to look up and catch things that fall from the sky.
Yeah.
And then it shows the ship crashing, and yeah.
So, but the Uber Predator it was a regular Predator. It wasn't that. Okay, so do you remember that at the end of Alien vs Predator Requiem, they had the weird Predator hybrid?
Yeah, but that was a Predator-Alien hybrid.
Exactly.
Right. That wasn't.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out what this thing is. Predator. Is this something that we created? Because
I don't think so. Based on the
hints.
trailer, it looks like it's something that they are dealing with. Like,
no, they're dealing with the regular Predator. I thought.
No. I mean, the Predator is dealing. Yeah,
okay.
Predator is like fighting a super Predator.
Yeah. But it looked like they sent
because he made that comment too. He's like, it's not just a hunt. I mean, these guys conquered space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not just instinctual beings that just want to kill you. Which, yeah, after seeing Predator 2 with Danny Glover, that's kind of what I got from that, was that they do actually kind of give a shit, at least, about other life.
Yeah, and they're honorable.
Right. Well, I mean, at first they were just killing druggies in the alley and things like that, right?
The Jamaicans not the Jamaicans, the Haitians. They're killing the Haitians.
Right. Well, and then the first movie takes place during the Vietnam War, so that's a hostile environment. So, I mean, it all kind of makes sense in that sense that predators, yes, they are great at being predatorial and good at hunting. That's not all they do. They also fly spaceships and travel distances that are ridiculous and have amazing weapons and healing technology and so on. So, obviously, they think.
Well, now we're getting to that, and now they're getting into that line right there where it's like we're taking their technology to use for our own stuff so we can combat the predators, and then the predators are going to come back with new stuff like Ultra. I like Ultra Predator better.
Well,
what did you say?
I said this just last night.
Super Predator?
Yeah, Super Predator. I have no disrespect for Germans, but I don't feel like something is more powerful if I say it in German. So Super is fine.
I can't say anything myself.
I like Superman. It's fine. I don't need him to be called Uberman. Doesn't make him more scary.
Do you want to talk about Laffycon real quick?
I do. I want to talk about Laffycon. Laffycon is coming up this Saturday and Sunday at Carnahan Hall. I was
going to say you had everything.
We're gonna have some images posted for you and links and things like that in the description. Check that out. All the information, how much it costs, everything, what the itinerary is. I do believe on Sunday it's going to be at the bowling alley at Market Square Lanes for a few hours. I think it's like noon to 6 or something like that. Anyway, we'll have all that information. Check that out. You might see us, at least one of us.
I'm going to try to go Saturday.
Yeah. I might try to bring Stella down there on Sunday.
Nice.
And Saturday I might go during the day a little bit. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was planning on stopping over there before my shift.
Yeah, definitely check that out. If you're in the Lafayette area, it's it's the 4th, right? The 4th annual Comic-Con convention, Laffycon. It'll be a lot of fun stuff.
Ticket prices, which I actually do have pulled up real quick.
I think it's like
I did have it pulled up.
$8 or something like that.
No, $2 to $12 for tickets.
Well, yeah, kids. I think kids a certain age are $2.
It's making me go through all these.
Right, we're gonna have all that information for you along
Saturday.
with this video.
Yeah, Saturday for adults is $8, kids is $2.
Right.
Sunday is cheaper. You can get an adult pass for $12, or you can get a weekend kids pass for $4.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, if you're going to go both days, that's probably the better way to go.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the bowling is free.
Mm-hmm. Save a couple bucks, go both days. Not bad.
Yeah.
We've got an actual top 5 this week. Top 5, 80. We said 70, 80 remakes.
80s, 90s.
80s, 90s remakes.
Yeah.
Well, I did.
Mine's
whatever. Primarily 80s.
Yeah, I think mine's probably more 90s than 80s, but a couple of 80s.
Well,
These are the top 5 80s or 90s movies that we would like to see remade.
My big one is I've got Big Trouble in Little China, which is, as far as I know, already in talks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is in talks. Doesn't it involve The Rock?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So here's my thing about Big Trouble in Little China being remade. I'm all for it, but I don't feel like it's one of those movies that needs to be remade. It's already a perfect piece of John Carpenter action. Like it's great the way it is. I've seen it a million times. I'll watch it again soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I approached my list a little bit differently. I approached it with movies that are good, or at least good to me, movies I grew up with, but could stand to use an upgrade to fit the next generation, modern times, things like that. More based on things like technology and just the ability to tell a better story than we had back then, things like that. Go ahead and continue with yours.
The next one I had was it's a Gary Busey film from, actually I think this one was from the late 70s. It's called Eye of the Tiger. It's got Yaphet Kotto in it. He's an ex-con that comes back to his family home. He got it turns out his entire town's been taken over by a compound of bikers that have basically taken over everything. The sheriff's in on it. It's a giant clusterfuck, and what ends up happening is they come in. He stops a nurse from getting raped outside a hospital when he's leaving a construction site.
So is he from this town and
Yes.
returns to it
Yes.
later, kind of thing? Okay, that kind of sounds like, what is that? Walking Tall?
Walking Tall.
That reminds me of that.
But he saves her, and the bikers take retribution by coming to his house, and they kill his wife and put his daughter into a catatonic state.
Oh, that sounds much worse than Walking Tall.
And so him and Yaphet Kotto go on a damn spree. And he made friends with this Italian mobster from the city who he calls in a favor, sends him all kinds of neat little gadgets, like this amazing badass truck with all these neat little gadgets and stuff in it. That one's a little bit more like, not Turner and Hooch, but what's the one with
Tango
Stallone?
and Cash.
Thank you. The truck that they had in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that reminded me of. The next one I had, which we talked about, which I changed my other one, Swamp Thing.
Swamp
Thing's always needed an update for live action.
Right? 2 live action Swamp Thing movies?
And then the live action series.
Right. I remember the live action series. Very short-lived.
Yep.
But I was into it. Not going to lie. And I did grow up with the Swamp Thing movies.
And then the next one we had was Romancing the Stone, which
I love
that movie.
I'm kind of with the whole Big Trouble in Little China on that one. Like, I feel like that movie's already great the way it is. I mean, rather than retelling that movie, let's move forward with another story, because those are based on great novels.
Yeah.
And there's more novels by the same author continuing the story. So I would argue that rather than remaking those movies, Romancing the Stone or Jewel of the Nile, the sequel, move forward with the next story. Even if you have to get a new cast, it's fine.
Right. And then the last one was which was talked about previously, was Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I was pretty sure was going to get a remake at one point.
I would watch a remake of that simply because the effects, the budget was so ridiculous in that, and ridiculously small, and so the effects are just really.
Should we do a remake or
cheesy?
Would it be better to do a sequel?
I would do a remake and then hope for a franchise. To be perfectly honest, I feel like Attack of the Killer Clowns could could theoretically spawn into
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, that's a tougher sell. I feel like if you were going to
just
do
get
that,
Clooney back in it.
I feel like if you were going to do something like that, you would have to approach it from a like classic horror film, like cinematography standpoint, because one of the things that makes that movie great is how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
So it needs to remain that. Remember the cartoon?
Yeah, of course.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Remember the song?
Yeah. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah.
They did that, but they put the cartoon into mainstream when they continued the movies because they have 5 movies.
Yeah.
And like the fuzzy
I've seen 2
tomato
of them.
or the girl that was a tomato, that's the love interest. Like
Right.
they have all that in the other 2 movies.
Right.
Well, what's your list?
Well, my list, I'm going to start with...
No, I see it, and I don't know why you would have put that on there. You're saying from a visual standpoint, correct?
Yeah,
Because
for a
that's
lot
one
of
of my one of my me and my dad's favorite movies.
All right. Well, stop describing something
Sorry.
that hasn't been listed yet. So I'm going to start with The Never-Ending Story because that, to me, is the least needed to be remade on my list. It's the one that doesn't necessarily need to be remade, but I would love to watch a modernized version, not modernized as in technology. I just mean visually, practical effects, all that kind of stuff.
So I
would like to see them do the same story, but
a little bit more like what they did in the second one, where it was a little bit more visually stunning.
no, I thought the first one was visually stunning, and I thought the second one was bright, which is fine.
Right.
But I would just like to see, I don't know. I think they can make Falcor's flying look better and more believable now. I think that they could do.
Well, and it was better if you remember.
They could do the nothing a little bit better.
If you remember the third one, that was the most horrible look.
Oh, the third one was terrible.
But his flying in the first and second one were like 100 times better than what they were in the third.
Yeah, for sure. My point is that it doesn't necessarily need to be remade for any reason other than we could clean it up. We could make it look better.
No,
As a fantasy
I can
film,
understand that.
it could look remarkable.
Now I'm starting to see why that's on the list where it is. So that's starting to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of my list.
But you can understand why I was like, the second I saw that, because I didn't know that was on your list, I was just like, you son of a bitch.
I'll still always love that movie.
Oh, it's such a good one.
And then, okay, so I'm going to go number 2 on this will be Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, nice. You did put it on there.
Yeah, I thought that was a good suggestion. Flight of the Navigator is the second on my
what
list.
What would you do from a cinematic standpoint? Because it was already stunning with the pictures that they were doing of the different.
Okay, here's the key, right? The ship has to look simple. It has to have that simple. And in fact, I would say don't even change the design of that. Maybe soup up the inside a little bit, but the way it looks on the outside, you got to keep that.
Are you saying more
it
organic?
looks a little bit T2, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
not as good as T2. So I'm thinking they could make that when it shifts look a little bit better, look a little bit less like a cartoony shiny orb.
Yeah.
But when it's parked and it's practical because it's a model for part of the film, it looks great. So I say, let's clean that part up.
I can agree with that.
Also, like the aliens inside the ship could be better.
I was
they
thinking
could deal
more
with
of
the
the
time crisis issue a little bit better.
More of the, you know how Brainiac's tendrils were?
Yeah.
Something more along that lines. Sure. Not scary like that, but a similar way it's formed.
Yeah, sure. Also, I just think the robot could be cooler.
You brought up the whole time thing. I don't know why I didn't think about this. Time Bandits.
Time Bandits. I would watch a Time Bandits remake, depending on who did it.
We could talk about that another time, but that's one that just jumped in my head when you said time.
All right. Another one is Silver Bullet.
Oh, he's got to keep the 3-wheeler though. He's got to keep that.
He's got to keep.
Yes, yeah. He's got to keep that.
I'm good with keeping that, but I feel like we could do even that. We can do better because you've seen wheelchairs as they are now. Like they're everywhere. Like what he had there was special then. But now you see people cruising down the road in them. So it's.
What do you think it would be?
I don't know. It would have to be souped up pretty hard. And definitely have to have the lightning streaks and that would be fun. But my thing with Silver Bullet isn't so much the wheelchair. It's more of Corey Haim. We could do better, I feel. Secondly,
he was good. He was okay.
He was fine. He was a child actor with the dimples. It's cute. Whatever. Anyway,
bring Busey back.
I don't know about that part, but it would be tough to find someone to replace that character.
Yeah.
Or that role. Anyway, but no, I think the wolf effects, the werewolf effects, and just the way that story was told could be a little bit better. Like my favorite scene in the entire movie is at the end where he's finally got the uncle on board and everyone's there and they're They got that bullet, and he's got that gun. He falls asleep with this lit cigarette. Everyone's on edge, but he falls asleep with that lit cigarette, burns himself.
And then the wolf comes crashing through the window.
Right.
My favorite scene
just
was
the tension in that was so good.
the pastor having his dream sequence where everybody in the congregation was turning into wolves.
Oh, yeah.
That was
just showing that he was like turmoiled by the whole situation too. I would like to see more of that angle too, more of the perspective of the werewolf.
With this one, more gore.
Sure, why not?
Not a lot, not over the top, but more.
Or even more crazy is go the route of the book, where you have the kid basically doing everything that's in the movie, but set it up as like a survival guide.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you, like, you know, maybe this is after the events.
That book was thin, too. I don't know if you ever picked it up, because that's where I figured that out from. My mom had shown me the movie, and then the book just happened to be at the library.
Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King.
It's literally like a pamphlet.
Yeah.
I guess it was one that he had put. They had done not a compendium, but it was shorts that he had done.
He's done a lot of shorts. Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he did. They did a lot of that for a long time.
What you got next, bud?
Okay, so fourth on my list, and this is just for the sake of, I like martial arts. I like action. You know, Best of the Best. It was a good movie. I liked it.
Who was in that one? Because
Eric Roberts was the main character in that. There's 3 that I'm aware of, or 3 that I've seen. There might be more Best of the Best movies, but in my opinion, the martial arts specifically in Best of the Best is kind of meh. And we've had some pretty killer martial artists come out of the woodworks and get into Hollywood, and we could just make that so much better. I personally don't have a problem with the storyline. The storyline, it's like an official championship, Best of the Best. It's not like Bloodsport where it's kumite, fight to the death kind of stuff. It's not like Mortal Kombat where there's anything supernatural. It's just literally a competition between the 2 best nations in martial arts.
Okay.
And, well, it's more than 2 nations, but it comes down to 2.
Because I just watched Bloodsport the other day, so if it's something similar to that, I could get into it.
Well, it's not really. It's a little bit more dramatic.
Because there was
maybe
somebody did get killed, but the whole thing was like you're the best. You're representing the clan.
Kinda, yeah. Well, this is again, it's more official. Like they're all wearing gis and stuff, and it's all in they
did kickboxing.
I understand. It's different. Trust me, it's different. It's a little
bit. Send me a link for the one.
Like
send me a link for the one that you remember so that I can watch it. Because you said there were other ones.
All right. Yeah, there are other ones, and actually, I think it's the third one's actually really good because it's not that at all. The story continues, and the second one kind of the same idea. In the third one, it's one of the characters from the original movies, and none of the rest of them. And he's in this town. It's like got like a KKK problem. He attacks that and has to fight back on that. Anyway, last but not least on my list, actually would be first, like number 1 on my list of things I'd like to see remade, is The Last Starfighter. I love that movie.
I do too.
But we could remake that with here's the thing, and I'm thinking about this, and more than just seeing the movie, I'm thinking even ahead of that. That story is a great story. It's rich with this weird, like, least expected podunk underdog.
Yeah.
You know, saves the fucking galaxy kind of thing going on.
A little bit of the Music Man in there.
A little bit, you know, but we could do better technologically now. We could make those ships look so much better. Because, I mean, Star Wars came before that, and it looked a lot better.
Yeah. I did like the scene where he has to do that. They're like, hit the emergency button. Where he tells him to hit that button and the whole ship
spins. Yeah, yeah, that's fine, and they can keep that. But let's get rid of that crappy shiny CG and replace it with practical effects and good CG. And let's also upgrade the arcade game. Mm-hmm. Let's make it more of a simulator kind of. I mean, if you've been to an arcade lately, you've seen some of the crazy.
We don't have it around here, but the one, actually, Chuck E. Cheese. Funny that you said that. They have a great flight simulator there.
Yeah.
Full on with everything.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, you can get into like inside of an arcade game and play like simulator. It would be more complicated. Much respect for the way they designed that in that film, because you had like the toggle and then you had like a throttle here.
Yeah, or even a VR aspect with what we have now.
Well, and either way, it could even be like an online concept. But, you know, either way, let's make the video game more modern, more appropriate for the next generation of people. Because I mean, this is just, again, it's a great story, and I think a generation is missing out because, you know, kids aren't going to go back and watch The Last Starfighter and think it's great. They're just not. No. Like, it's you know, cinematography is kind of meh. Even the like makeup effects.
Well, even people.
Could be better.
There's an age gap between the two of us.
For sure.
Now, I'm the exception. Mm-hmm. I've watched a lot and grew up with a lot of these films. But even people that are a similar age to me are only a little bit younger.
Mm-hmm. That's all it takes is that few years.
And they're just like, oh, I've never heard of that. I've never seen that. I'm not going to watch that. That looks like shit.
Right. And then when you sit through the first 5 minutes of the movie, it's grainy. It's, you know, it's
like if I try Romancing the Stone, like we were talking about, great movie. If I tried to get a girl to sit down and watch that movie, there's a fucking 75% chance that they're just going to be like, I'm not into this at all.
Right.
Let's watch 50 Shades of Grey.
Let's not say we did. Anyway, I think that movie could be not done better. Well, yeah, it definitely can be done better. The story, again, was fine, but it could be brought up to speed. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's my top 5.
Well, I think it's about what we got for this week. We still need to thank Zombie Mattress, Zombie Beds, located over there by East Side 9. It's an online mattress company, but they do run out of a mattress store. We have several codes. They have their own code. We have a Screen Out Loud code, which is Screen Out Loud 7. There is one for I thought it was it Get Live? Zombie 765. So that'll get you $100 off your purchase. I love my zombie bed. I can't stress that enough. It's the most comfortable bed I've ever owned. And you don't have to spend $1,200 on a Tempur-Pedic. Just saying.
Yeah. Also, Digby's Pub and Patio.
Yeah. I should really start shouting them out, seeing as how I manage the place.
Yeah. Go get a cheese brick or 4.
R4, yeah. We don't sell single cheese breaks, guys. I'm sorry. We had to stop doing that.
You share them with your friends.
I got yelled at for it.
Come try some of our new menu items.
Starting here soon, we're going to start having beer pong and cornhole on the patio. So if you guys want to come out and enjoy an afternoon where it's all sunny and nice outside, definitely come and check us out for that.
I'm about to go there to have my lunch, in fact.
I'm about to go pick up Emmy.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's all we have for you today. Again, check out Laffycon this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of interesting people. A lot of guests are signed on to this and panels. And keep on the lookout for a special Screen Out Loud episode that didn't air. Oh, the lost episode? Yeah, the lost episode that might be coming out. That was ridiculous. Yeah. It was ridiculous. All right, guys. See you later. Have a good one, everybody. Advantage of 765 Live's launch advertising packages. These 3-month packages are built to get the word out to listeners for the fraction of the cost you pay at other radio stations. With packages starting at $200, advertising with 765 Live is a great investment. For details, visit our website at www.765live.com or email us at 765live@gmail.com. 765 Live, your new favorite streaming radio station.